So those are the first two steps. You need to make sure that whatever you offer has incentives for the team as well, not just for the celebrity. Number two, how do you get the team excited about your product? And how do you nurture those relationships? Now, I'm going to give you an example for one of my founders where they had tried to get a celebrity involved for a couple of years. They didn't get anywhere. What my team and I did is I scheduled a meeting with the person that makes most of these deals happen and talks directly to the managers at their agency. I had the product with me. I talked about the founder, and I made sure that they also understood the founder is brand safe. That is crucial. When you try to get an A-list celebrity involved into your brand, you need to make sure that your brand is safe. And that means you as the founder of the company and your brand itself. What does brand safe mean? Don't be controversial. Don't do things that can get you canceled. Make sure that your values are aligned with whoever you're trying to get on board. Make sure that if you make promises about your product and the quality, those promises are in fact real. Expect more due diligence conducted by those agencies than from investors. Trust me on that. There is entire teams making sure that the career of one person cannot be ended by getting into partnership with the wrong people. Those movers and shakers here in Hollywood are good at their job, and they will make sure that you're brand safe. So be mindful of that, especially when it comes to your social media footprint. Back to the story. I had a meeting at that agency. I pitched to them the founder. I barely talked about the product. I mostly talked about the founder, how this is someone who is truly making it their life's mission to make this company become successful and why they're so passionate about that company. Of course, I also mentioned the product and the quality. And I myself said it is one of the best founders I've ever met. Trust me, you would do your clients a disservice by not connecting them to that founder. Next, I made my founder send all of the PR packages to the entire team. Whoever we could find, they would get a package with a handwritten note. Next, we structured a deal. So I looked at the numbers. How much profit do you have? How often can you pay out the profit? How much could you realistically afford to give to them in exchange for a partnership? How much equity should you offer them? Are they active on social media? Do they give a lot of interviews? Do they have a PR tour coming up? What are things we can ask from them that will really help us from the company's perspective to accelerate? And what are things that we can offer them to make it such a sweet deal that their team themselves will champion it to their client? So after working on that deal, we sent a simple email saying, this is what we propose. Please keep it short and simple. In an ideal world, you don't want more than 3 bullet points. You need to think of someone who only reads their emails on their phone, who gets 100 emails like that every single day. You want them to be able to talk to their clients while they're on their way to set and remember what you proposed. Don't make it complicated. Keep it simple. Always include a summary of your company. Don't expect them to memorize your elevator pitch. So we sent that email. And sure enough, after 2 years of the doors being closed and nothing working, we made that deal happen in less than 2 weeks. And that company was able to sign on an A-list celebrity that all of you know very well. And all it took was talking to the right people and saying the right thing. Another way those deals can work is that you might pitch to someone at those agencies that vet startups every day, and they might match you to one of their clients, which is another thing that happened to me once. I had my eyes set on someone very specific, and I was at that agency. And as I was sitting there, we were having lunch together. Someone in the team mentioned that another client of theirs was coming up with a big blockbuster, had mentioned to the team that they wanted to invest more in female founders and wanted to get more involved a little bit with the tech world. So they asked me, would you be interested in having a meeting with them? Is that something you would consider? And funny enough, it was someone that I watched growing up on TV. So I was actually really excited about that. And it took us only a couple of hours to then be connected to the manager of that person directly. Because remember, there's a department that champions those deals for startups, but then they connect you to the team of that celebrity, to the direct manager, agent, whoever you're going to talk to. So then that team connected me to their manager of that actress. I had a meeting with them. They were able to tell me a little bit more what their client was looking for and how they were looking to get involved and why. And then their due diligence started on me. Who am I? Why did I start a company? Why am I so passionate about my mission? What is my ideal goal for that company in the next 5 to 10 years? And from there, everything happened really fast because before I knew it, I was on the phone with that actress that already knew everything about my company. And it was a quick phone conversation to make sure it's a yes from both of us. Now, those deals are usually also structured in forms of an advisory agreement unless the celebrity invests in you. Those advisory agreements are usually much more generous than they would be with a regular advisor or with an influencer. You're basically paying in equity whatever they would usually be charging for advertisement. Now, obviously, it's not going to be the same because you're a startup, but you will be expected to give up much more equity. I will say the lowest deal that I've ever seen was probably 5% if we're talking about A-list celebrities. But in most cases, it's probably closer to 10 to 15% in my experience. Now, that will vary depending on how much that celebrity is willing to do for your brand. It gets very tricky in my experience for celebrities that are not active on social media. So if you want to have my honest opinion, I would always prioritize working with someone who actually has a social media presence, who is known to be posting on their social media channels themselves. If you're a lifestyle brand, make sure to work with someone who is open on social media and shares about their lifestyle and products that they like to use. Because they're going to have a very different relationship with their audience than an A-list celebrity that clearly does not manage their own social media and only posts glam photos. For them, posting about your brand is probably going to be less valuable when it comes to sales because it's going to look more like advertisement versus someone who always talks about their lifestyle and implements your products in a very natural way with their audience that already trusts them for recommendations that will then be much more inclined to purchase your products. Now, that being said, the first one is still really useful for you, especially when it comes to fundraising, because it does help being able to tell investors that you were able to convince A-list celebrities to be part of your company, knowing who else was willing to take a bet on you. I hope this breakdown really helped you to better understand how you too could start working with a celebrity or with an influencer. Again, check out my other video if you're looking to onboard an influencer to your company, because a lot of things in our industry are shifting. And while it's harder for founders to raise capital, and the capital that you do raise should better not be spent on paid ads, it is also shifting into a very positive direction where people that already have platforms are using those platforms to help startups truly scale and get the visibility that helps the founder execute on their mission. As always, if you have any questions or want to work with us, you can find all of the work at foundersregistry.com. We help facilitate those deals behind closed doors all of the time. And one last piece of advice, do not let the Hollywood glam blind you. Make sure that you too conduct your due diligence on whoever you give equity into your company, and make sure that your values are also aligned with theirs, because you don't want to give equity to a celebrity that is about to get canceled. And even if you are a small startup, this is a mutually beneficial deal. And it is important for you to protect your brand, just like they will protect their brand. And make sure to nurture the relationships that you're building, even if it's a no. Because first of all, you can always turn a no into a yes. And most importantly, our industry is small and we talk. So make sure to not burn bridges and to foster those relationships and to come in with the mindset of generosity and mutual respect. I hope this video helped give you a little bit of an insight on how these deals happen between startups and Hollywood. And be prepared to see more and more of these deals happening as the creator economy is shifting more into a celebrity economy. And both of them are heavily becoming involved with startups. We are in an ecosystem filled with opportunities. So make sure you're currently already creating building blocks for future partnerships of yours, because they can truly be life-changing. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave any questions in the comments. And I'll be back again soon, talking more about all things startups.